Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid South Wrestling Review Series for May 5th, 1984. And we are quickly going through the month of May, or actually quickly going through 1984 more accurately. We open with a special look at the Rock and Roll Express. There has been previous matches covered here. We also kind of see that's kind of a music video deal. And beyond the special look at the Rock and Roll Express, we have a message from Troy Graham and Jimmy Hart in Memphis talking about his leg injury. The leg injury might be several months, they're saying 3, 6 months, a year, who knows. Jimmy Hart basically saying Jim Cornette is going to get revenge or revenge taken out on him, as is the Midnight Express. Landell and Rose versus the Rock and Roll Express. Pat Rose, Florida standout, Buddy Landell. Maybe there's a delay with Butch Reed. Maybe there's a falling out there. Don't really know what the deal is there at this particular journey. I know that Reed is still with the promotion, but he is not as present as before. And of course, the Rock and Roll Express are the tag team champions and the best babyface tag team in the area at the time, or perhaps ever in the history of Mid-South, who knows. Anyway, Ricky Morton holds on to his adversary, and he's pretty assertive with that. Rose tries to cut him off a little bit, doesn't get everything he wants. Morton goes through the legs and over the shoulder, hip toss, and Morton continues to be at the best of his availability. Some shots there. We kind of see the drop kick under the chin, and then Gibson manages a couple of shots there. Landell comes back in. Of course, Landell has been the bigger talent of the two, I guess you'd say. Tie up and the full Nelson is a good run there. And the kickoff attempted and the drop by Gibson, who manages to be reasonably successful. And I've got to grab my phone, so we're going to grab that, and we'll be right back in a matter of 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. And again, there is a good bit of value in Landell being, here. Obviously, Landell is probably one of the bigger, I don't know that I'd say bigger talents, but they collide, and the Rock and Roll Express continues to be one of the better teams in the area for the next several months. Big double drop kick under the chin of Rose, and he manages, or they, meaning the Rock and Roll Express, manage to get a victory. Randy Barber and Terry Taylor up next. Taylor has been a pretty outstanding individual, still wearing a neck collar. I don't know that a neck collar to wrestle makes a lot of sense, but they've been doing it for a couple of weeks now due to the attack of the Russians, specifically Crusher Khrushchev, and I don't imagine they're going to drop the angle anytime soon. Anyway, we've got a front face lock, and then Taylor goes into the arm bars for a little bit. Continuing to go around, and we see the takeover by Taylor into the, I guess you'd say, fireman's carry sort of takeover. Arm bars by Taylor, and he continues to stay on the arm. Takes the man down, tries to get a submission. Taylor gets backed into the corner, and we see a couple of shots there. Several shots, actually. Irish whip by Taylor, and Taylor comes back with the flying forearm, the 5-arm as he calls it, and the victory there. Taylor continues to be successful. Jim Cornette confronts the Junkyard Dog, basically mocking his Stagger Lee area stuff, and basically that the dog is an unscrupulous and untrustworthy individual, is basically the inference. Mr. Wrestling, the new Mr. Wrestling 2 against Jason Walker is up next. Wrestling 2 basically says he's found a new protege, and he's happy with that, the original Wrestling 2. Not necessarily sure where this takes anybody in terms of a long-term story, as it kind of falters, honestly, through the rest of 84 as a longer-term storyline, so I'm not sure where this was supposed to go. Jim Cornette continues to be one of the best in the area. Mr. Wrestling 2 to me still looks like Jim Neidhart, although I don't necessarily have proof that he plays the new Mr. Wrestling 2 character. But suffice to say, it's a pretty basic role to play. The new Mr. Wrestling 2 hits several kicks along the way, and then we see the swinging body slam, gets the advantage there, drops the elbow and the knee, and ultimately front face lock, and the Wrestling 2 character manages to do just enough to keep things going in his general direction, and ultimately that is what is needed. And I mean, then we go into the more directive process there. Ultimately, um, Wrestling 2, the new Wrestling 2 gets his advantage. We see a darker fall. I think this is probably Houston. Clipped match with, or not fully clipped, but a shorter match with Dr. Death Steve Williams against Jerry Gray. Gray has been and will be in a part of things going in that general direction. Again, the promo videos and all that's coming with him, big body slams and shoulder tackles by the benefit of Steve Williams. Williams hits a shoulder tackle and kind of goes around. Ultimately, the Irish whip, and then we see the shoulder tackle there. Ultimately, we hit a on the top of the elbow, or Williams hitting the top of the elbow, and a couple of shots along the way. And then we kind of see that going forward. Ultimately, shots by Williams, who manages to get a full Nelson on, and he tries very many times along the way. Hits the Oklahoma Stampede, gets a victory there. Williams, of course, becomes a major part of the territory over the next couple of years. They continue to promote the Super Date in the Superdome, and then we close the program with Masa Ito versus Magnum TA. Of course, TA has been a major force in the area for the last couple of years. TA manages to kind of try to hold his own with Ito. Hooks the arm a couple of times there, and ultimately manages to shoot things off, arm drags, arm bars, and the like. Pretty basic stuff. TA coming along quite well. Ito not really as pushed as he once was, kind of trying to find his way back, I think, to a pushed program. He misses, Ito that is, misses a leg drop across the run, and ultimately the Irish whip that's there, and misses the shoulder tackle into the corner, and we see we see some chokes and all of that in a basic run. Head the claw version, and ultimately staying on the top of the head. Claw actually purported to have busted open Magnum TA. Not necessarily sure I agree with that approach to things, in so much as Ito not a major push star, and to be busted open kind of a big deal there, although maybe they wanted to reheat him up or something. The headbutt and the back to the claw by Ito. Ito, obviously, they're trying to do something with, and he hangs on to the claw for several minutes before finally, TA coming back to his feet. He does spend more time, that is TA, spending more time selling and kind of being a little bit less run there. And ultimately, we kind of see a good bit there along the way. Hard shots, and again, kick by Ito. Ito goes to the second rope on the inside, misses the bit of the top rope maneuver, and Terry Taylor comes out to try to, I guess, be of support to Magnum TA. Belly to belly suplex, nails Ito 1, 2, 3, and TA gets the victory. And we close this particular edition of Mid-South Wrestling on that note. We'll be back with more right after this.